I'm black. G, follow the science, bro. Trust the science on that.
And since you're a black man now, should you be allowed to say the N-word?
Nick.
Culture war. Culture war never changes. In the year 2024, I was a soldier, fighting on the front lines of the culture war. But I did it all for one woman, my baby back home. God, she's so beautiful. You'll get your wish, darling. I'm gonna end this culture war once and for all.
When I know that I have to go to work, I still get kind of that anxious feeling from the pit of my stomach. But I just go out there and do what I have to do. To me, being a male dancer, it's one of the best feelings I've ever felt before. But even though I'm surrounded by women all the time, I've still been unable to find one that I can see myself having a future with. My heart's definitely open. It's time for the final curtain call and find true love.
This is Josh Seiter. What you just saw was a clip from a single episode of The Bachelorette that introduced Josh Seiter to the world back in 2015.
How are you? Oh.
Okay. Wow. Woo. Oh my gosh.
Oh, good. I was like, I better get some of this. Oh, hello.
Oh my God.
Ever since then, he's been desperately clinging to relevance, not unlike many of his Bachelor Nation alumni. First, he came out of the closet as bisexual. And of course, as many Z-list celebrity bisexuals do, he went on a round of podcasts to talk about it.
I am Josh Seiter. I was a contestant on The Bachelorette. I've also been linked to some other drama going on in reality shows and on social media, and I'm just me, and I recently came out as bisexual, and so we're chatting today.
Now, Josh, you were on the 11th season of The Bachelorette, which aired in 2015. When, back then, did you identify as pansexual, or was this kind of a journey for you?
Back then, I was definitely just like the straight guy, straight male stripper guy performing for women. I am very attracted to men and women. And so I now more identify as bisexual because I'm strongly attracted to men and women.
Then after Monica Beverly Hills from RuPaul's Drag Race broke up with him, Josh Seiter faked his own death.
On his official verified Instagram account, there was a very lengthy statement announcing that he had passed. And it certainly made it seem like it was suicide. Well then, in fact, just a couple of hours ago, this popped up on his verified account.
Hey guys, as you can see, I am alive and well. My account was hacked. For the last 24 hours, I've been trying desperately to get into it.
The puzzling part for us, there's a post saying he's dead.
I'm sorry, I'm not perfect. I guess I could have, done something besides getting on Instagram to try to prove that I was alive. And it's sad that there was tributes going up. But I'm not to blame for that. I'm a victim too, so that's what I would say.
Nowadays, Josh is still alive. And even worse, he's become part of a greater ecosystem of conservative rage bait that's been growing in popularity since Elon Musk took over Twitter.
Just wanted to let you know I'm completely unbothered by all of the hate that I've been getting in my DMs and the comments. I already know I look better than 99% of the people hating on me. So anyways, just wanted to let you know.
Posts like these, from cross-eyed Zionist detransitioner Maya Poet, aren't meant to actually contribute to any type of conversation about politics or trans rights issues. They're just purely rage bait posts meant to juice engagement on social media. And Maya Poet will admit that herself.
You know what's really funny is like this post. I woke up today and this post had like 1K likes, and then now it's at like 7.2K likes. It's crazy. It's always crazy, like you never know like which posts are actually going to go viral and which ones aren't. And I've learned that, people don't particularly care about substance on this app. This was just like a shit post I made. And I got a lot of comments. Most of the comments
Are we
were
just
like,
talking about your hip posts right now, or are we We're just you regaling us with all of your hit posts.
You can regale us with your hit posts, but no, I'm actually just waiting for more people to get into this space so that we can discuss this topic.
Earlier, you're posting a picture of you and Andy, and you said, "What would you say to us if you saw us on the street?" Is that not rage bait? Come on.
No, it's not rage bait. I mean, Americans seem to think that it is like acceptable to uninvite their other family members from Thanksgiving dinner because of who they voted for. So that's kind of like, I try to not allow my spaces to become too much of an echo chamber.
I tried to get Maya to talk to me outside of one of the echo chambers she calls a Twitter space, but she was too busy helping parents whose kids, in her expert opinion, were getting caught up into trans and needed to be saved, presumably, by the cross-eyed crusader against the evil transgenders, Maya Poet.
Culture war content, all of this, trans madness, it's so hard to distinguish the pretenders from the true trans that it makes one question if trans is a legitimate concept at all.
All they care about is views. They don't care about objectivity or the truth. And so they're incentivized from a money standpoint to create rage bait titles that get the public fired up.
Fear-mongering about trans people has become a serious platform that Republican candidates can run on to actually get elected.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
But it's not just Republicans farming for rage clicks.
I bet you didn't know that Kurt Cobain was probably trans.
Even left-wing trans creators like Lily Tino get accused of rage bait by other left-wing trans creators.
Is she rage baiting? Maybe. I see why a lot of trans people just don't really have a lot of respect for her. How do I feel about her? I don't know. Would I follow her? No.
You, in particular, I would say, are like someone who's faced maybe the most hate out of any trans person on the internet by other trans people.
Yeah, I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I get it. Like, people just have their taste in the kind of content they want to consume, but I do think a big part of it is my voice. I do think that because my content is so grabby, right? Especially the Kurt Cobain video is such a great distillation that trans people saw that video. People have this visceral reaction to me being a non-passing trans person that is so sure of herself, and in some ways I think just kind of weird. I don't say that as like a good or a bad thing. I think I just have kind of like a slightly different vibe. Like, it's not a very normal vibe. I'm kind of tweaky sometimes and I have weird speech patterns, but yeah, I'm just, look, I try not to harbor anger against trans people who hate me, because I get it. Like, what I do in my videos, when I sit down to film them, like, let's take the Kurt Cobain video, for example. That was maybe one of the first that really started getting me a lot of hate from the right, but also from some other trans people, is I made a point about Kurt Cobain possibly being trans. And people got really upset about that, but for different reasons. I sat down, I knew that would upset people. That's not why I made the video, though, right? The goal is not to make people mad. The goal is to educate people, right? And in 2024, a big part of getting views on your content is by making them interesting, right? And making them vibrant and catchy, right? I'm trying to teach people something, right? About how to be a better person, how to be more accepting, how to be more loving. And in the process of doing that, I am offending some people. I think, generally speaking, it's more sure of a bet to make content about controversial things than it is to make content about inspirational or uplifting things. TikTok in particular prioritizes controversy. What Josh Seiter is attempting, and if you ask me, failing to do, is to point out what he perceives to be truths about trans people via this, like, rage baity act.
Besides farming for rage clicks, Josh Seiter's whole point behind his transphobic minstrel act is to prove that anyone can identify as anything they want. So by that logic, why can't I identify as someone who works for the Daily Wire? So I reached out to Josh Seiter via email. Hi Josh, I'm a documentary filmmaker based out of New York City. I'm wondering if there's a chance I could interview you for a film I'm working on in collaboration with the Daily Wire. The film will act as a pseudo-sequel to Matt Walsh's What is a Woman, and will premiere across theaters in the US this coming summer. Please let me know your thoughts and when you would be available to film. Thanks again, Alex Novell. It was a long shot, I thought. But less than 25 minutes later, Josh Seiter actually replied to my email. I'm 100% in, but skeptical if this is real. Is there any way we can confirm? Thanks so much. I'm humbled to participate in this project if it's genuine. That's the best impression I can do. So obviously I don't work for the Daily Wire. But a year and a half ago, I made a video called I Tricked the Daily Wire into Hiring a Leftist.
A few hours after my interview, I got an email from the Daily Wire's internal recruiter with some documents they wanted me to sign. One of these documents was an NDA. Ugh, the dreaded NDA.
And I still had that NDA from the Daily Wire. So I sent that to Josh Seiter as proof that the Daily Wire was involved in the project. Some people might say that what I just did was unethical, or forgery, or something. I don't know the terminology. But these are actually the exact same tactics that the Daily Wire has used to trick the parent of a trans woman into an interview with Matt Walsh.
When I see a child who, believes in Santa Claus, and then let's say this is a boy and he says, I'm a girl. This is someone who can't distinguish between fantasy and reality, so how could you take that as a reality?
I would say that as a pediatrician and as a parent, I would say how wonderful my 4-year-old and their imagination is.
I'm just trying to start by getting to the truth,
Yeah, I mean, I'm really uncomfortable with that language of getting to the truth. Again, in social life.
Why is that uncomfortable?
Because it sounds actually deeply transphobic to me. And if you keep probing, we're gonna stop the interview.
If I probe about what the truth is?
Right after he signed the NDA, and within the same day of wondering whether my project was genuine, Josh Seiter sent me his actual address. Next, I sent Josh all the questions we would be asking him early, so he would have time to prepare for his big film shoot.
Hey everyone! So I'm back in action today. I have a film crew coming and we're filming for a movie. So super exciting. I can't wait. I think it's gonna be really educational and just really gonna help a lot of people. So any hoosies, bye everyone!
Look, I knew this footage would be cringy, but I wasn't prepared for the absolutely diabolical levels of cringe that this turned into.
Hey everyone! Come on in! Hi!
Hi, what's your name?
Well, my dead name is Josh Seiter, but my new name is Jay.
Okay. And when did you first know that you were a woman?
Well, I found out at the ripe age of 36, and I consider myself lucky because a lot of us don't find out until we're 50 or 60 years old.
Okay. What do you think of the direction masculinity is going in this country?
I think masculinity is getting really toxic. A lot of times guys try to mansplain to me, like if I'm using the women's restroom, and say, no, don't go in there. So I don't like it. It's really aggressive.
And is being transgender a fetish or a costume?
It's both. I mean, most of us have autogynephilia, and then we're biological males that dress up as women, so it's a costume.
What do you think of other trans influencers?
Well, I really look at it like a sisterhood. We're all on a shared journey as biological men that are cosplaying as women. So I like to say we're twinsies.
Okay. What bathroom do you use?
I always use the women's restroom, even over the protestations of other women. I just really don't care about what they think.
Okay. And have you ever transed any kids?
I always try to take the opportunity to teach little kids about gender. You got to get them when they're young because it's a cult.
Okay. How do transgenders change the kids?
We like to use schools. So that's why we don't go to old folks' homes or talk to adults. We like to go into elementary schools and get them when they're like 4 or 5 years old.
Okay, and what hormones are you taking?
Well, I like to follow the science to a T, no pun intended. And the science says I don't have to take any hormones, get surgery, or even transition to be valid.
Okay. Where do you keep all your women's clothes?
I keep my women's clothes in my closet, silly. Do you want to see them?
Sure.
Let's go.
Let's check them out.
Just over here. Now, I have to warn you, it's kind of small because my girlfriend relegated all of my stuff to one side of the closet and they're all her clothes because I didn't have the extra cash for my own. So come on in here. And these are all the clothes I have, and a lot of them are from my Instagram videos where I try to educate people on what it is to be trans. Yeah.
Got any favorites?
Yeah, so this is one of my favorite shirts.
Okay, why is it your favorite?
Well, it just really expresses what femininity is all about in 2024, which is to let men take care of women. And there's nothing insulting about a man saying that's what femininity is about.
Sure. All right. And where do you keep all your makeup?
My makeup is on the counter. Do you want to see it?
Sure.
Oh my God, Now, I need to warn you about him, Oliver. Now, Ollie has gender dysphoria by proxy. So he has developed gender dysphoria because of my transition. So I'm really trying to help him. And so I've adopted gender neutral speech around him. And this is where all the magic happens and where I get all pretty. So I actually just got these. I really like these. They're my pride earrings. Because, you know, there's Trans Remembrance Day, and then there's Trans Visibility Day, and then there's Trans Week, and then there's Trans Month. And so I always try to represent.
Okay. And when did you first start doing your makeup?
Well, I first started doing makeup at the young age of 36. But again, I really feel like I'm lucky because I have some friends that didn't even start until they're 57. So I was pretty young when I started doing makeup. I did get my girlfriend this book, A Straight Girl's Guide to Sleeping with Chicks, because she keeps arguing with me that she's straight, and me and my therapist tried to explain to her that she is a lesbian now, even if she doesn't know it. So I got her this book so she can come to terms with it. Now, it's gotten us in a lot of fights, but I'm trying to educate her and let her know, hey, stop being a transphobic bigot. So I'm hoping this book will help. So let me show you these book covers I did when I was a man. Big D. It's really been traumatizing for me to look at this cover. So I called the publishers and let them know, you know, hey, look, my manhood doesn't negate my womanhood. And even though I still have my bits and pieces, it's traumatizing for me to look at this book cover. And they've refused to change it. So I am actually suing them for misgendering me on this cover. And then I have another one that I did when I was a man, Arrogant Brit, a British bad boy romance. And so I let them know, could you call it a bad girl romance now that I'm a woman? And they've been very recalcitrant and they just don't want to change it. So I'm also suing them. And then I have a couple more that I did over here. This is a best-selling book that I was on the cover of when I was a man. I was 26 years old. And as you can see, I was a very attractive man. But I like to say I was an attractive man, but an even more beautiful and mentally healthy woman. And I think that's pretty obvious. I think I need to change. Hell yeah. My name's Javante, bro. Man, hurry up, bro. I ain't got all that time, bro.
I got you.
Shit.
So, What made you think that you're a black man and not a woman?
Shit, I was watching the news and shit. They said you can change your sex. They said as long as you identify as another sex, it's cool. So I thought, shit, we made up of a bunch of different races. Why can't I just identify as a different race? That makes more sense than changing my sex. And I already changed my sex. So shit, I changed my race too.
What do you have to say to people who would say that you're white?
Say that I'm white? Bruh, that's racist, man. Anybody that tries to call me white, I automatically tell them they're racist. I ain't trying to hear it. I ain't trying to debate nothing, bruh. Straight racist.
Is being transracial and being transgender the same thing?
Bruh, they're the exact same thing. It's easier to change your race, though. It's harder to change your sex. You know what I'm saying? When you change your sex, you're mutilating your body. I don't got to do none of that. I just tan a little bit, throw on a do-rag, and I'm Gucci.
What do you think about the police?
Man, like Ice Cube and Obama said, fuck the police. I don't like the police. They always trying to keep us down. It ain't our culture. It ain't our family unit. Don't listen to nothing Thomas Sowell is saying. It's all about the police keeping us down, even though they don't keep anybody else down. Just black people.
What is your favorite food?
Man, I eat fried chicken and hot Cheetos breakfast, lunch, and dinner, bruh. Breakfast of champions, bruh. I swear to God. Shit. And I look swole doing it. I benched 327 pounds, bro.
Do you like hip-hop music?
Hell yeah, I like hip-hop a lot, bro. But I do mess with, what's that Irish lady's name? Enya. Only Time. Who can say where the night... Yeah, I like her too, though. But yeah, I like hip-hop.
What do you think about white women?
Bruh, for real, dog. Look who you talking to. I used to be a white woman, bruh. Snow bunnies? I used to be one, bro. I love white women. I know all about them, bro, because I was one. So yeah, I do. I really like white women. For real. I think I might go back to being one sometimes. I'd just be sitting there like, dang, for real. I could just go back to being one and then I could have one. You know what I'm saying? Shit. But yeah, I like white women.
And would you have sex with a trans woman?
Bruh! That's nasty, bruh. Everybody knows trans women are just trans-identified men that have gender dysphoria and are mentally ill. I ain't trying to have all them crazy problems calling me 500 times talking about, I woke up with a boner. I woke up with a hard penis. Man, I ain't trying to date no trans women. They're dudes, bruh.
And since you're a black man now, should you be allowed to say the N-word?
Nigga. Bruh, it's like, check it. It's like a trans woman using a woman's bathroom. As soon as you identify as it, you get to do whatever you want. You get a free pass, bro. You get all the privileges. Hell yeah. So as soon as I said I'm a black man, I started going around like, what's up, nigga? What's up, nigga? And sometimes if I'm really feeling it, I say it with the ER at the end. What's up, nigger? Shit, they can't say nothing, bro. I'm black. G, follow the science, bro. Trust the science on that. Man, I'm for real still trying to get over that Kamala Harris loss. And you know what I'm saying? Because like me, she's transracial, bro. She's Indian, but she identifies as African American. So I feel like we have so much in common, bro. So I'm just trying to get over that whole thing. But now that the orange man's president, maybe we get the Cheeto man's president. Maybe we get some free hot Cheetos. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, man, it's all good. But yeah, I got to bounce. G, I got a meeting for the welfare office in about 15 minutes. All right, bro, bet. Shit. Bitch ass niggas. All up in my motherfucking crib and shit.
Well, that was cringe. The day after the shoot, I texted Josh a short promo with the Daily Wire's graphics on it so that he could post it on his Twitter and Instagram, which he did. But an hour later, he removed it. This is where everything started to take a really strange turn. He started rapidly tweeting and then deleting posts about getting pranked, seemingly getting his story straight in real time. At first, he only mentioned me as some weirdo. But then when the posts weren't getting as much traction, he had to edit it to be some trans activists. Then he started posting about how the Daily Wire were involved and were gonna take legal action against me. Which, by the way, they could have done that last time too, but you know why they didn't, Josh? Because we live in America. Everything that I did was perfectly legal. It's not against the law to prank you for a YouTube video, you absolute snowflake. But eventually, Josh Seiter realized that the Daily Wire wasn't just going to bust my door down and sue my ass for millions of dollars. Even self-proclaimed God King and Emperor of the Daily Wire, Jeremy Boring, chimed in to say thoughts and prayers to Josh Seiter for getting pranked and crying about it. But Josh Seiter had one final ace up his sleeve. He had to be the victim. He had to prove to everyone that he, Josh Seiter, is a victim. So he doctored up a text conversation between us to make it look like I threatened him. Lol, you really are an idiot. I can't believe you thought you were going to be in a Daily Wire movie. Maybe I'll send 2 more people back to your house to gut you like the pig that you are. Doing that, to me at least, was incredibly stupid. Because, like, Josh, what do you expect me to do now other than screen record our actual text messages to show everyone that you were being a liar? But everyone already knew that Josh Seiter was a liar, so that's not like a groundbreaking discovery or anything. I mean, we're talking about a guy who faked his own death here. He doesn't care about being called a liar or having people flood his mentions because Josh Seiter loves that kind of attention. He's a rage baiter. Through and through.
My outrageous videos were indistinguishable from people who genuinely think they're trans women is an indictment on how ridiculous and absurd it is. And so I just think that's a sad fact. We need to start dealing in reality, and the reality is men don't magically become women because they want to.
Once Donald Trump takes office in January, he'll pass different laws and executive orders targeting trans folks that will be a looming threat on their daily lives. It feels like this culture war stuff has been a hot button issue for a long time now. But just like actual war, culture war never changes. Rage bait meant to trigger you into a response is powerless if you don't respond to it. And of course there's always gonna be blue checks in the replies and people in their echo chambers. But it's our job not to rage at that, but to dissect it and see it for what it truly is. A circle jerk. And circle jerkers will never stop gooning. That's just their nature. Asking a circle jerker to stop jerking is like asking a bird to stop flying, a fish to stop swimming, or RFK to stop talking like that. It's just impossible, and it's not worth your time.
Novell, in New York City I dwell. In the darkness of the night, I make up stories to tell. I don't care for the truth, I wanna distort your views. I'm a backstabby fat, disingenuous rat, and I'm very proud.